Hello everybody and welcome back to Fraser 1515 Gaming. In today's video we have a little bit of NHL 20 action, NHL 20 online versus action, that is, against my buddy Trey, where I'm the Arizona Coyotes and he is the New York Rangers, and this is game 2 of the 3-game series that we recorded probably about a week ago now. So in this video, I really wanted to try out playing with Taylor Hall in the new Coyotes uniform. We were just kind of messing around with teams that we don't really use that all that often. New York being a team that he doesn't use often, just because they're not a top team in NHL 20 with their ratings, so nobody really uses them. But they have a lot of young, interesting players. They got Panarin, who's obviously a stud. They got Mika Zibanejad, just got back. They're gonna have that new goaltender here shortly, and Igor Shesterkin or something like that. But they also got Adam Fox, Tony DeAngelo on the back end. So there's a lot to kind of be excited about, as I just scored a goal there with Alex Goligoski. He kind of tossed up a pizza up the middle, and I definitely made him pay for it. But in today's video, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of talk a little bit about my fantasy hockey leagues that I'm in for this coming season, or for this current season. So this season I'm in two leagues. One's just a standard Yahoo category leagues with a bunch of my buddies from university, and right now I'm currently sitting in first place of that. I have a 13-point league over my buddy Tom. So my team right now, it consists of McDavid, Wheeler, Andrei Svechnikov, Jeff Carter, Alex Killorn, Brian Rust, Sammy Vatanen, Jacob Trouba, Neil Pionk, Alex Pietrangelo, Anthony Duclair, Ryan Getzlaf, Dougie Hamilton, Nazem Kadri, and Gabriel Landeskog, with Jake Gensel on the bench, or on the IR spot, I guess. I'm probably going to end up having to drop him, but I don't know. He was just doing so well that I didn't really want to dip out on him just quite yet. For my goaltending, though, I have Jakob Markstrom from Vancouver, Tristan Jarry, and Jordan Binnington. So my team is definitely looking fairly stacked right now. I guess that's kind of apparent by how I'm in first place in the league. So like McDavid, he's obviously a top player in any kind of league. That goal he had last week against Morgan Riley was just incredible. The way he was able to look off and the deception that he had in his body language. So he's number 4 in the league right now. Blake Wheeler, he's currently sitting at 54, where he's been kind of like going off lately. Him and Scheifele together in Vancouver have been just tearing the league apart. Andrei Svechnikov's a top 20 player in the league as well. Jeff Carter, I'm just kind of riding him out for now. He's only ranked 162 in the season, but the waiver wire is kind of thin because it's a 14-team league. Next up is Alex Killorn. So he's kind of tearing it up right now. He's ranked 45th in the league. I then got Brian Rust, who's ranked 47th in the league, who is, if you think about it, he has, 15 games probably, short of what everybody else does. So on a season average, let's see what he would have. He would be the 3rd best player in the league, which is also the best on my team. So next we have on the defense is pretty strong. I tend to like drafting my defensemen early because they're a little bit. It's harder to find good defensemen on the waiver wire as opposed to the forwards, where they kind of cycle through and guys get more opportunities. But I got Sammy Vatanen, who's probably my worst defenseman on my team. Then I got Jacob Trouba, who's currently ranked 112. He's kind of slumping, especially with the emergence of Tony DeAngelo and Adam Fox. He hasn't really been getting that power play time that everybody thought he was going to get at the beginning of the season. But the complete opposite is true for Neil Pionk, who's ranked 62 in the league. I kind of drafted him to be one of my bench defensemen, I guess, or a utility spot. He's really blossomed into a very valuable fantasy piece, just because Winnipeg lost Tyler Myers this year. They lost Jacob Trouba, and with the kind of uncertainty surrounding Dustin Byfuglien, they don't have that top power play threat that could be valuable for them. and Neil Ponick just jumped in and kind of threw himself into that role, and he hasn't looked back. I also have Alex Pietrangelo, who's a top 20 defenseman who you never know, he could be getting moved at the deadline just with him becoming an unrestricted free agent. But I don't know, I see him as being a Blue forever, so we'll see what happens to that with the next coming month. We then have Anthony Duclair, who has probably been one of the more breakout players this year. He's always had the talent and skill, but he just never really was given an opportunity. And I remember seeing a quote not that long ago that said, Anthony Duclair doesn't belong in this league, and it was something that was said by John Tortorella after I think it was while he was playing for Columbus, and now he goes to Ottawa and gets played the last couple of games he's averaging well over 15 minutes per game, and he's in a bit of a goal scoring slump right now, but he's kind of like a streaky player, but when he's hot, and that's kind of what I need him for. Next we have Ryan Getzlaf, who went on a real quiet spell there for a while, but he's kind of starting to turn around again. So I might be looking to get rid of him though. So we'll see. We then have Dougie Hamilton, who's also a top 10 player in the league. So he's really blossoming this year with a little bit more power play time. He gets more points, more shots, all of the above. He just really hits all the categories. Next up, I got Nazem Kadri. So he's ranked 177, and just like Jeff Carter, maybe Getzlaf, I'm kind of looking to deal these players, but right now I know centers typically like a deeper market, but the centers in my league right now, just because it's so deep, are very slim pickings as to who's actually available and who's doing any better than what I'm getting from a Kadri or a Jeff Carter. And I'm a big believer in that these guys have opportunities, and right now they are getting the opportunities to actually go in and score, shoot, get points on net, or points that one injury to, say, like a McKinnon and Nazem Kadri's Colorado's number one center again, or not again, but for the time being, and he would provide to be a huge fantasy asset. Gabe Landeskog's my next player that I have, and he's had a little bit of the injury bug, I guess I could say, this year. But in his last game that he played, he had a goal and an assist, and I believe it was not a game winner, but still 5 shots. He's definitely turning it around now that he's getting healthy. My goaltenders that I have are Jakob Markstrom, who got a win yesterday against Buffalo. I also have Jordan Binnington, who's the goaltender for one of the top teams in the league, so that's always nice to have. And I also was able to grab Tristan Jarry off the waiver wire, so that's what it's going to take to have maybe a championship caliber team, is utilizing that waiver wire. Right now he's ranked the 18th best player in the whole entire league. So with that being said, I was able to get probably the top goaltender in the league completely for free. So that's my league that I have with my friends from university. And then the league that I have with my friends from work is a completely different style league. And it's the first season for this league, but it's a points league. And the point categories are very wonky. And I'm just going to read them out here for you guys. Let's see, I'll bring it up. So in this league, goals are 2 points, assists are 1 point, plus minus is half a point, a power play goal is 2 points, a power play assist is 1 point, a shorthanded goal is 3 points, a shorthanded assist is 1.5 points, a game winner is 3 points. For every shot, hit, and block, those are each half a point. And the goaltender categories that we're using is a win is a point, a loss is -2 points, a goal against is -1 point. For every save you get is 0.2 points, and the shutouts are 5 points. So this league is very imbalanced right now, just because it basically rewards people for being volume shooters or what's the word I'm looking for? It's probably like, I don't want to say goon, but guys that go out there and play a physical brand of hockey. Think Tom Wilson, maybe Ryan Reeves, Matt Martin, Marcus Foligno has been very good in it recently. But my team in this one, for the past little bit has been Philip Deneau, who's kind of struggling. I'm probably looking to move him right now, but it's just like center. Everybody says center's so deep, but in a league like this, it's not, because most centers are more skill playmakers, and the wingers are typically your tough guys. But my other center is Dylan Larkin. I then have Ovi. I just picked up Kovalchuk. I clicked the wrong button there. Then I got Brian Rust in this league as well. I was able to pick him up for free. Noel Chari's definitely been riding hot streak, so I've been holding on to him. I got Darnell Nurse, Dougie Hamilton, Jacob Trouba, John Marino is my other defenseman. I also have Brady Tkachuk, Andrei Svechnikov, Jacob Chikrin, Gabe Landeskog, Jeff Petrie, and right now Johnny Marchessault is hurt for the Vegas Golden Knights, so he's on my IR spot. IR plus spot. And then in nets, I have Bobrovsky, Markstrom, and Grubauer, and I'm currently streaming in Curtis McElhinney for what I hope to be a start against the New Jersey Devils tonight, coming off a back-to-back with Tampa. But in this league, I'm also first, and the way that we're doing things is that we are running a regular season prize and a playoff prize. So I'm currently second in the league based off of a win-loss record, but first in the league for points for, which is what the regular season is going to be based off. And I currently have so these stats are updated as of last Sunday, so they'll update again after today. But I have about a 40-point lead over the guy who's in second place. So with that being said, some of the guys I think are really valuable in this league as of late, like Ovechkin. He's just an all-around fantasy asset in this kind of league, just because he does use his body quite a bit, and he shoots and scores and gets power play points. He really covers all those major categories that you're looking for. He's currently the third-ranked player in the whole entire league, so that's definitely valuable for me. I know there's only a small sample size, but Ilya Kovalchuk has actually been a monster in this league too so far. He had that very first game he played where he had an assist, but he also had 4 shots, 6 hits. So right there, that's 5 points. And then the assist added another point on top of that. So he was able to, come out strong out of the gates. And then his second game, he had 2 points again. So that gave him 4.5 points. The game against Edmonton was only half a point just because he didn't really do a whole lot. And then last night against Ottawa, he had the game winner in overtime. So that really boosted up his stats, and he's averaging 5.13 points in this league, which is probably near the top. Brian Rust has also been quite the asset in this. So he was, I think, 40-something in the other league I'm in. But for this one, he's at 65. But he's still averaging, this is just over the past 2 weeks, 4.08 points per game. And then Noel Chari is also averaging 4.71 points. So he was kind of riding quite the hot streak. But my goal is just kind of, stream guys in and out of the lineup as they get hot and cold. So like right now, Philip Deneau's on a bit of a cold streak. So I'm trying to find a suitable replacement for him. And the same can be said about John Marino. So he's averaging 2.6 points per game. And what I'm looking to do is maybe switch him out for a guy like either Radko Gudas, who's kind of more of a tougher player that gets consistent hits and shots, like that kind of stuff. And he also would have a decent plus minus. Or possibly for a guy, maybe Philip Hronek. He's really been a strong player, but what I'm hesitant to do right now for dropping John Marino is I know that they have a 4-game week coming up, those 4 games he could potentially get me 12 points, which is probably more than I could get from a guy that would get me, say, 3 games at 4 points a game, similar to what, Radko Gudas over his last week is getting 4 points per game. So I'd be getting the same amount, and I'd also have the opportunity for John Marino to maybe kick in a little bit more for point total if he was to come back around, because when I did pick him up, he was in that 3 to 4 point range, like upper 3 to 4 point range, which made him so interesting for me. The other defensemen that I have in their ranks are Darnell Nurse. He's at 62 for the season. Dougie Hamilton's at 10 in this league as well. And Jacob Trouba's at 32 in this league just because he gets so many hits and blocks. So he's a lot more valuable in this league. Brady Tkachuk is currently the 11th overall player. Svechnikov's the 21st. Jacob Chikrin, he's just one of the guys I have in as a streamer. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him probably lead the team in the next couple weeks. Gabriel Landeskog's coming around. He was hurt, so his averages are a little bit wonky. But Jeff Petry's on my team, and he's ranked 44th in the league. I really ran into an issue with goaltending in this league just because Bobrovsky's absolutely been shit in the bed. He's not been doing well at all. But Jakob Markstrom's not bad. He's a 100th ranked goaltender, and Grubauer was hurt for a little bit, so his stats aren't quite as accurate either. And my streamer spot with McElhinney isn't really worth even discussing. In this league, I also had Jake Gensel, so I'm really feeling that injury bad in both the leagues that I'm in. So with that being said, I think I'm probably going to wrap this video up here. I think it's got another minute to go. And I think I'm winning 5-1 right now, and I really just kind of let the foot off the gas at the end of the what period was it? End of the second. I let him know that I'm just going to start trying to do a little bit more creative stuff, and we were just kind of joking around. And he said never say never, so I got a little bit nervous as he started coming back here. But maybe I'll just do a little bit of live commentating. So he comes down the wing here on the right side, and he gets stoned by Darcy Kemper, who also is probably another very valuable goalie in our league just because, he gets a lot of shots. Oh, and there he scores his final goal. But yeah, Darcy Kemper, he's probably pretty valuable in our league just because of, he gets a lot of wins, and goalies are dependent on wins in that league. But I think I'm going to leave it there. So this has been Fraser 1515 Gaming with another NHL 20 online versus online game. Be sure to like, subscribe, and check out my social medias if you enjoy this content. And until then, peace.